fly shop. That's where you want to go. Get some micro fishing tackle. Fly hooks. Anything from like size 10 to 30 is good. Stuff like this. Stuff like this. Let's see what we're gonna get here. Size 10s. Size 14s. Circle hooks are very important, so I go all out, Gamakatsu. I got a bunch of different sizes here. This is probably like $50 in hooks alone, at least. £20, I need 25. Let's just go with the 20-pound fluoro. Alright. Good old 5-inch Senkos. I already got hooks for these guys. I added a bowfin to the tank, dude. That's so awesome. And it's so pretty too. What a gorgeous bowfin. How you doing?
Good, how are you today?
Very well. Alright guys, so here's $170 in terminal tackle. This right here is a package from Sankara Bum. Alrighty then. Come on. Poop it. Let's get it. Alright, let me move this Bass Pro stuff to the side so you can see what comes in here. So basically, it's $40 worth of micro tackle. And I got 2 packs of these assorted color uni bobbers, which are these tiny, tiny, tiny micro floats. I've never used them, but I think they're gonna be sweet. Made by Thingamabobber. They're just the smallest thingamabobbers called unibobbers. And then we got 3 packs each of these Half Moon pre-snelled Tanago hooks. This cool little sticker that I saw in my tackle box. And they also have a note here. Right there. See, it's a little receipt. Here's. Thank you for your business. Best regards, Chris. So you get a little handwritten letter there. So that's for 40 bucks, man. That's a good deal, dude. A sticker, 6 packs of hooks, and 2 packs of bobbers. It's not bad. This will last me and my buddy quite a while. So with his stuff aside, he can have that sticker because I already have one, and he actually loves stickers. Like a sticker fanatic. And then let's see circle hooks. So let's see what Gamakatsus I got. Pack of 25, size 1. Pack of 25, size 2. Pack of 10, size 6. Pack of 25, size 1. Aught, size 1 aught. Pack of 25, size 2 aught. Pack of 25, size 5 aught. I love circle hooks and I don't play with them. You gotta get the best. If I bump the table, the phone's going down. So I went to editing my footage yesterday at Bass Pro Shop, and I realized that you guys just watched me buy a bunch of stuff and it didn't really mean much if you don't know what the context is. So I got everything that I had that day, some stuff I bought recently and some stuff that I've used to put together an essentials as far as multi-species fishing goes. Starting with my smallest micro fishing, getting into bigger stuff. I'm just trying to make you better understand what you should be looking for when you go to your fishing store. Whether it be Walmart, Cabela's, anything, doesn't matter. This stuff should cover pretty much every single species in your area. And I'm talking about everything from this big to this big. So without further ado, I'm gonna get into it here. We're gonna go ahead and start off with the ultralight and micro stuff. So here we go. This is my ultralight setup. It's a Bass Pro Shop tiny light reel. Very, very, very small reel. Cheap as well. This is the Shakespeare Durango. I don't know if you watch Boston and Lindsay's channel, but he just recently used this, but I use it for my micro fishing. It's $10, it's sturdy. I don't really have the money for expensive rods at the moment, so I just kind of deal with the cheap ones. They work well as long as you get good terminal tackle. you can land your fish with cheap equipment. You don't have to spend all of your money. You have to spend a good chunk of it on this stuff here, but once you do that, you'll be able to reel in some nice fish. So I like to outfit my ultralights with 4-pound Berkeley. I bought it while I was at Bass Pro Shop. It's fluorocarbon, because fluorocarbon, it's denser than monofilament. It doesn't have any stretch. It likes to sink better. So you'll get your rigs exactly where you want them to be. That monofilament could get in your way with such delicate and light rigs. You don't want to use monofilament. Get fluorocoat or get fluorocarbon, 4 or 2 pound test. You can go 6 or whatever, it depends on what you're fishing for. I like 4 pound, it's a good medium. It's what I use for everything. Okay, so you know what my combo is, what line I'm using. So now let's get to the goods. This is what everybody wants to know here. Here I have 2 packs of Tanago hooks. They're 2 different sizes. These are pre-snelled half moon Tanago hooks. These are pre-snelled ultimate. These are for your smallest fish. This is for the tiniest fish you could ever imagine. And these are for most tiny fish you go for. Definitely get this if you're first getting into microfishing. It's Tanago half moon pre-snelled. The link is in the description. Buy these hooks, they're amazing. They sold out because Leo put them on his page. Sorry guys, you're gonna have to wait till he restocks. I don't know how long that's gonna be, but those are the best microfishing hooks you can buy. So for weights, just get your tiniest bag of split shots you can find at your store. I don't even know how much these weigh. These are tiny, they're super duper tiny, like really tiny. The smallest you can find. And actually sometimes I'll break these in half when I'm float microfishing because they're too heavy for some of the floats I use, and I'll just form them onto my line. So you don't really have to even worry about the shape. You just need something to weight your line. These are uni bobbers. I've actually never used these, but they're the best float that I could find regularly to use for microfishing, I think. So we'll see how that goes, but I'm pretty sure this is gonna be a hit. I have another float that I did use, the strike indicator at Bass Pro Shop. They're way too expensive. They fall off a lot. I'm pretty sure these are gonna be a much better option. And then we're getting to our bigger hooks from our fly fishing section. These are the 2 you saw me buy. It's size 14 and size 10. Those are for like maybe, you know, panfish of all sizes. You know, for the most part, you can get all your panfish on these. And you can also do some vertical jigging and some tight lining with these, which we'll get into later, for your smallest species. And then I also already had these size 22 for fly hooks. I don't know if you can see that, but this is probably, if you can't find these are what you're gonna wanna go for. Something size 20 or up, like 20, 22, 24, you're gonna get something like that for your microfishing. They're very small, but I don't like using them. I just have them and I wanted to show you guys them in case you couldn't get these. This is what you're gonna get. And your fly fishing section in your local tackle shop. Now that covers microfishing tackle. Let's get into what we have here. You can do this micro or you can do this for big fish. It's just a technique or a style of fishing called vertical jigging, which Leo talks a lot about. So I get these 2 bobbers. These I've had for a while. These are brand new, smaller ones, bigger ones, okay. 64 and 32 ounce jig heads I just bought. 1/8 ounce jig heads. Now the smaller jig heads are for these Berkeleys. The bigger jig heads are for the 3-inch Berkeleys. These are 1-inch. It's just a good way to catch fish. Vertical jigging, check out Leo's video on it, it's awesome. I have a bunch of different types of jig here. There's hair jigs right here. This is a hair jig. Berkeley, they make jigs here, different type of jigs. You could also do this with little hooks, little J hooks. You can actually do it with circle hooks as well. Just put your bait under a float. It's still technically vertically jigging. So keep that in mind. When you have these floats, they're not just for artificials. Put natural baits, worms, whatever on it. These are great bobbers, so use these. They got the weight at the bottom, use these. That's 2 out of 4 of the styles of fishing I'm covering in this video down. Now, we're on to one of the most important types of fishing for all species of fish, and that is bottom rigging. There are so many types of fish in the bottom. Catfish, suckers. I mean, you can catch pretty much any fish off the bottom. But there's just a lot of specific multi-species driven rough fish that you're gonna want to bottom rig for. And that's what I have, these circle hooks, these beads, I need some more big ones, and leads. Now for my smaller circle hooks, I'll just put a split shot on there. That's like a bullhead catfish rig. Now, if you're going for something bigger, you wanna use egg sinkers and a sliding rig. The bead is to protect the leader knot, and this will slide, and it'll allow, when the fish picks up your circle hook, it'll allow them to not feel the weight. And these are 3/4 ounce and 3/8 ounce. I need some bigger ones as well, but whatever. So I have size circle hooks for all types of bottom rigging. I also have leader line, I have 17-pound test, and I have this 20-pound test now for my bigger setup. Okay, so that's bottom rigging. Some good stuff there. You can cover catfish with that. Micros, we got micros here, like panfish and all types of smaller species and larger species, bass, all kinds of stuff. Here we have catfish and bottom guys. Now I just want to touch on artificial a little bit. I'm in Florida, so wherever you are, find your favorite artificials and stick to them. I can't really use a lot of treble baits where I fish. There's so much weeds, so I stick to good old Texas rigs. Here I have some flukes, some Senkos, and some 1 and 2/0 hooks. They're offset worm hooks, offset, wide gap. 5-inch, 4-inch flukes, and some 5-inch Senkos. I love this stuff, it's weedless. I just love soft plastic. This is my go-to for any sight predator in Florida. You know, I'm gonna be targeting pickerel with this stuff. You know, anything else, bowfin, bass, whatever. Whatever's big enough and aggressive enough will hit this. This is good stuff, and it's weedless, so if you live around weeds, go for that. If not, you know, I like square bill crankbaits. There's a million lures. You can figure out what lures you like. I have a bunch I like, but that's not what we're talking about today. I want to talk about main tackle. Okay, with that covered, on to the last style of fishing, and that is tight lining. I just got this reel in. It's a Yoshikawa 4K. It's a bait runner reel, so it's got this and 2 drag systems, and you let the set drag, and when the fish takes it, you got the fighting drag. It clicks, it activates the fighting drag, and then sets your circle hook. And you can also use this, you know, whatever. It's just a big setup. I'm getting an 8-foot medium heavy rod. I'm going to be using this for bottom rigging, and I'm also going to be using it for tight lining. You set up a high-low rig. You're going to want to get bank sinkers, not pyramids. Pyramids are cool, but bank sinkers prevent snags the most, I've heard. J hooks of all sizes. You could also use the small J hooks you get from the fly fishing section, like size 8, 10, around that range for your smaller species when you're doing tight lining. But I also got bigger ones, and then I have 1 ounce and 2 ounce bank sinkers. I may need bigger ones in the future, probably will. It's like a drop shot type deal. Like I could take this little tiny teardrop sinker and, you know, these size 10 hooks and put it on my medium rod and catch, you know, whatever I need to with that rig. You gotta figure out what gear goes on which setup. So all this stuff has an appropriate setup. You know, the lighter stuff goes with your ultralight. The bigger and heavier you get, you know, you wanna upsize. This right here is a 4,000 reel, and I'm getting a medium heavy rod. So this is a medium ultralight and a medium heavy. That's pretty much all you need. And I'm gonna show you how I keep all of this stuff on me at all times, and it's not a big deal. If you're a bank fisherman, if you're a multi-species fisherman, you're not always on a boat. You need a backpack. That's the only way to effectively fish the bank. So got my backpack. I have my traveling tackle box. You also have to keep a home tackle box. So anything I'm not bringing with me, like my lines and lures I'm not going to use for that day, or I don't think I might need, that's staying at home. But all of this straight in the laptop compartment of my backpack. Bag full of soft plastics. Main compartment. Here's all my hooks. Well, all my hooks organized in this beautiful thing. Ridiculous. In there. Put all the random stuff away. I got my forceps. You might need this, so invest in one of these if you don't have one already. I got a leader line in here, scissors, lights, tape measure, a lighter. You never know what you might need, man. Little hook box for spare hooks. And yeah, make sure you keep your leader line with you in case you need to tie any leaders. Never forget your worms. And you want to keep them in a cooler. Let me go get them. Here's my little bag. I just shoved this inside of my backpack. I need to get a smaller one. Here are the worms. Yep, they finally died. Anyhow, yeah, keep frozen stuff in there. Keep your worms in your backpack too. So, usually when I'm going out, I'll just have my backpack, my ultralight, this pole maybe, and I might have my bucket with my cast net or whatever I might need that day. But you gotta know all this stuff. Vertical jigging, figure out what lures you like, micro hooks, Tanago hooks, tight lining with a high-low rig, ultralight setup, medium heavy. That's pretty much all you need, man. Figure out what lines, what baits you like, and just go at it. Thanks guys for viewing, and until next time, tight lines, and maybe next time we're gonna fish. I don't know. We didn't fish this time.